No one else makes a phone like this, and it is one of the most unique, it's one of the most interesting, and actually one of the most affordable phones of the year. It is, of course, the TCL NXTPAPER 60 Ultra, and it is all about this screen. So I've partnered with TCL to give you a bit of a walkthrough. I mean, straight away, if I put the iPhone 17 Pro Max up against this guy, you can see how much bigger it is, 7.2 inches. It's also, if I actually turn the screen off, a matte display. It doesn't have a screen protector on or anything, I haven't applied anything. If I turn the screens off on both and point it towards my studio light, you can see how it's dispersing those reflections. It actually has micro etchings in the surface, kind of like what Apple does with their nano texture on their studios and laptops, which significantly reduces reflections and glare. So straight away you can see it has this lovely paper-like aesthetic to the screen. But then, if you slide up this little key on the bottom right here, the Nextpaper key, this will put you into the Nextpaper Max Ink mode. Actually, there's three different modes. There's like a black and white one, there's a sort of low color saturation, and there's this Max Ink. And this not only extends the battery, we're talking 123 hours, 25 minutes left at 83%. So that's what, 24 hours, like 5 or 6 days of battery. It also, obviously, is much more comfortable for your eyes if you're reading a book on this or a magazine. But crucially, it also simplifies the phone. You only have a handful of apps that you can select. You're not getting notifications, which actually is very refreshing. So this is still an LCD screen. It's not e-ink like a Kindle or an e-reader, but you also get a lot of the benefits of being a typical phone screen. For example, it's 120Hz refresh rate, so it's nice and fast, even in the Max Ink mode. You get less lag, less ghosting, you don't have any PWM issues, which affects people who are using OLED screens on phones. And also it's full color, and you can use it like a regular phone to play games, take photos, and emails, everything you would normally do. But at the same time, you have the option to turn it into this lovely, comfortable, simplified mode. Speaking of which, if we jump into the settings and then open the Nextpaper zone, you can see here we've got the three modes. You've got the Max Ink mode, which extends the battery the most and is best for the most sort of immersive reading experience if you're going to read a good book. The other two options keep you in the regular phone mode, but just gives you the option to use it in a black and white ink paper mode or a more toned down color paper mode. You've also got this eye care menu, and you can enable it so that it'll give you a little prompt to rest your eyes or alert you if you're looking too close to the screen. Like, as a quote-unquote power user of phones, this is really refreshing to me to have all these options, but certainly for my parents or anyone who struggles with eyesight or migraines, headaches, this is going to be such a good option. It's also an absolute joy to do some doodling and drawing, and because we have this paper-like matte display, with this TCL pen, it's actually really satisfying to write on the screen. And it's pressure sensitive, so if I just do a little line there and add more pressure, it goes thicker. Obviously you can use your finger as well, but if you just want a little bit more precision, then the pen is definitely worth it. This is their Nextpaper 4.0. Now, if you do have a strong light source, this can also wash out the colors a little bit, reduce contrast, and of course, being an LCD screen rather than OLED, you're not going to get those super deep inky blacks when you're watching videos and movies. But for a lot of people, that's not a big deal, and they'd rather have the reduced blue light, the no PWM flicker, and much less strain on their eyes, particularly in one of the Nextpaper modes. Now at 7.2 inches, the Full HD Plus resolution is not the sharpest in the world, but it's perfectly fine. And also, as the price would suggest, around $499-ish here in the UK, this is very much a mid-upper range phone in terms of the specs. The processor inside is the MediaTek Dimensity 7400, along with 12 gigs of RAM, 256 or 512 gigs of storage. Most of the time it is flawlessly fast. I mean, phones have been for a long time now. Most of us don't need the latest flagship chips in our phones unless you're playing maxed out ray traced games. I'm not sure how many of us are actually doing that. I mean, it's still a good size 5200 mAh battery, and you'll get a little bit over a day of use of this, and if you use it in the max paper mode, then up to potentially a week depending on how you use it. So you don't have to worry about the battery life at all with this. But given the size of this phone, it would have been nice if they maybe squeezed in a bigger battery. It supports 33-watt wired charging, and it'll take about an hour and a half to fully top up, but bear in mind we don't have wireless charging with this guy. Look at that sky, what a beautiful day. Oh, maybe not, no, it's just my TV background. It's actually raining and miserable here in the UK, and it probably will be till April now. I'm recording this obviously on the TCL NXTPAPER 60 Ultra. Rear camera shoots up to 4K 30 video. You don't get 4K 60, and the selfie camera tops out at 1080p. But for most of us, that's not really a big deal. The camera is fine. I do appreciate we get three proper lenses, a 50 megapixel main, 50 megapixel telephoto with a 3x optical zoom and an 8 megapixel ultra wide. So TCL haven't padded the specs with some useless 2 megapixel macro or depth sensor. These are all proper camera lenses. So the camera may not be the best on the market, but at this price and with a dedicated telephoto lens, it's pretty competitive at this price point. Although I was impressed that we get some actually pretty decent stereo speakers, one at the top, one at the bottom here. Oh, face unlocking with the front camera, great. Also fingerprint reader built into the power button, which personally I am a big fan of. Physical SIM and eSIM, we have an IR blaster, and if you're going to take this to the pool on holiday and read a good book, then you'll be pleased to hear it has IP68 dust and water resistance. Now this guy ships with Android 15, and TCL promise 3 full OS updates, so that will take you to Android 18 I suppose, and 7 years of security patches. We also get some nifty AI tools for translations and summarizations and writing assistance. So that is the TCL NXTPAPER 60 Ultra. It's not going to be for everyone. You're buying this because of this screen. That is the key selling point. It is a good all-rounder in every other regard, but it's because you want the most comfortable screen and also don't want to spend more than about 500 quid. And for that, this NXTPAPER 60 Ultra is probably the perfect option. And if you're tempted, then click my link in the description below and check out the latest Black Friday deals. But what do you make of this? Any questions? Drop a comment below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time right here on the Tech Chat.